So that was Carlee Russell, the woman at the center of the kidnapping hoax. Her date of birth is July 23rd, 1997, give or take, and she was screaming bloody murder on May 21st, 2015. Carlee was only 17 at the time, and her parents were presenting her with a new car that spring day, her high school graduation. Eventually, Carlee would get into an accident, and by September 13th, 2021, she would celebrate, quote, riding in my brand new 2021 CLA 250 AMG Coupe. The base price of that Mercedes-Benz CLA 250 Sports Coupe has a starting price of $37,850. It would be the same red Mercedes spotted in traffic camera videos nearly 2 years later, rolling along the shoulder of I-459 in Hoover, Alabama on Thursday, July 13th, 2023, with Carlee's mom, Talitha Robinson Russell, apparently working as a successful realtor in town, able to live in a nearly $700,000 home and travel far and wide internationally with her family, including Carlee. I can only assume it was that real estate career that helped fund that Mercedes-Benz for the 25-year-old Carlee. And how did Carlee repay those blessings and perhaps high expectations from her parents? By sowing lots of fears and tears. We're going deep into 49 hours of fear, food, and answered prayers. When Carlee's mom and dad, Talitha and Carlos Russell, spoke to the press with her ex-boyfriend off to the right, you can see how swollen her mom's eyes are from crying. I think her mom really believed Carlee was abducted. She loves food, her mother explained, and Tomar, her ex-boyfriend, smiled knowingly in the background. Talitha said she had last spoken with Carlee at 9:19 p.m. that Thursday night, the evening this whole evil plan kicked off, which we can only presume was a big hoax after that amazing press conference yesterday. But Carlee's mom seemingly fell for the lies her daughter was spinning from the start. Her mom said about Carlee, and she was willing to give me her meal because they left her meal off. Meant a lot to me, and when she got home I was going to give her a big hug and tell her thank you because I know you love your food. Now, at that point on Friday, Talitha likely did not know all the things that Carlee had been Googling earlier that day and in previous days, including information about whether or not you had to pay for Amber Alerts, bus tickets from Birmingham to Nashville. Now, as we dig deep into Carlee's social media coming up, I'm talking deep dive, took me hours. She's a Beyonce fan. So Beyonce did have a Nashville concert with her new album Renaissance. She's touring the world, she's sharing it with fans. Carlee's a super fan. I mean, gives you those Hive vibes, if you know what I mean. That includes her concert at Nissan Stadium on July 15th, 2023. So Carlee was still missing. Is that where she was going? Carlee also Googled information about the movie Taken, about abductions, and so much more that we will examine later in this video. It's obvious that Carlee wanted to leave a self-sacrificing memory of herself with her mother before she was kidnapped. Now, police have confirmed that Carlee did indeed purchase food from Tzatziki's.
On July 13th, at approximately 8:20 p.m., Carlee left work from a business at the Summit. Surveillance video from her place of employment shows Carlee concealed a dark-colored bathrobe, a roll of toilet paper, and other items belonging to the business prior to her departure. She ordered food from Tzatziki's at the Colonnade and traveled there. She then traveled to Target on 280, where she purchased some granola bars and Cheez-Its. From there, she remained in the parking lot at that shopping center until 9:21 p.m. when she drove to I-459. Carlee communicated on her cell phone with individuals known to her while on her path of travel up to the point of calling 911 at 9:34 p.m. Hoover police officers arrived on the scene within 5 minutes of being dispatched, and several other officers arrived shortly. They located Carlee's wig and cell phone in the grass near the vehicle. Her purse was located in the front seat of her vehicle with her Apple Watch in the purse. The food she ordered for Tzatziki's was also in the car.
But she also purchased Cheez-Its, and granola bars from Target afterward.
The items she purchased from Target, as well as the items taken from her place of employment, were not in the vehicle, nor were they located anywhere around the scene.
But did Carlee really buy 2 meals from Tzatziki's, or just one? Did they really forget one meal? Because she didn't really want to waste the money? Because she knew she would leave the meal for her mom behind in the bins? While cops did not find the granola bars and Cheez-Its in Carlee's bins, no doubt Carlee consumed those snacks while she was gone for 49 hours. But where was she? Time, video, and snitches may tell. Chief of Police Nick Derzies, who did not come to play in his plum pink jacket and matching baby blue tie and handkerchief during Wednesday's presser.
From the evening of July 13th, our focus would be the safe return of Carlee Russell. That occurred on Saturday, July 15th, approximately 49 hours after she called 911 and disappeared.
He noted that Carlee drove her car a whopping 600 yards around 9:30 p.m. the night she called 911 and went missing shortly afterward.
Carlee called a relative after speaking with the 911 operator. She went missing during that conversation sometime after 9:36 p.m. Traffic camera footage was obtained which depicted this portion of the incident, and that footage was analyzed as part of the investigation in conjunction with the 911 call and cell phone data to accurately determine the time frame. Carlee's 911 call remains the only report of a child on the interstate, despite numerous vehicles passing through the area at that time. No one has called to report that a child is missing, and the Hoover Police Department did not locate any evidence of a small child walking down the interstate. Data from Carlee's phone, including her Life 360 app, shows that she traveled approximately 600 yards in her vehicle while she was on the phone with 911, stating that she was following a child. 600 yards. That is 6 football fields straight. 600 yards.
That's the distance of 6 football fields, or about 1/3 of a mile on the side of a highway.
Chief, can you explain for us, you mentioned that while I believe you said Carlee was on the phone with 911, she was traveling 6 football fields, which tells you what?
Which tells me that I've had kids, and I'm sure a lot of people here have, and it's very, very, again, she said it, and I'm not saying it couldn't happen because I've always been one of these guys, never say never, but 6 football fields. I like athletics, I like football. 6 football fields. To think that a toddler, barefoot, that could be 3 or 4 years old, is going to travel 6 football fields without getting in the roadway, without crying, without any just moving down. It's just very hard for me to understand.
Can you imagine a little toddler on the side of the road for about 1/3 of a mile? Improbable. While the chief did promise he would find out what happened during those mysterious 49 hours that Carlee claims she was abducted.
In the back?
What have the past few days been like for you, your department? This has been a stressful search, hasn't it?
Well, absolutely. And again, the focus of the investigation that Thursday, when she went missing, of course, the focus was to get Carlee home. That's what we want all. We wanted her safe and sound. And that's all happened. And then, of course, this has gotten to be not only a local state story, but a national story. So, it is. It's a lot of stress on everyone in the Hoover Police Department, the mayor, every citizen here. We want to know the truth.
As you stand here, are you frustrated?
I wouldn't say I'm frustrated. I mean, I'm very happy that Carlee's home. That was the main ingredient here, and then we'll figure it out. I promise you that. We'll end up figuring it out.
I'm busy digging into Carlee's self-focus and selfish social media posts. I'm trying to find out her mind state. I'm asking what happened to the seemingly spoiled and perhaps troubled girl since that high school graduation day in 2015 until now in 2023, as Carlee is staring down at turning 26 on July 23rd. So let's see what her social media posts reveal about Carlee and examine the case for Carlee potentially getting arrested and serving jail time in the near future. I'll bet you dollars to donuts she might be arrested. Although Chief Derzies played it coy and with cautious compassion, claiming he had not even entertained the thought of charges being brought against Carlee for her obvious deceptions, many of us us know that cops lie, they play it smooth in order to keep the lines of communication open with the family. And apparently, as of yesterday, they were still talking with the family.
All right. With that, we'll open the floor for some questions. Please raise your hand and I will call on you. Carol.
Chief, do you expect any charges against Carlee Russell in connection with the disappearance and in connection with what was taken from the Woodhouse spa?
Right now, our focus is to determine those 49 hours, so the investigation continues. So to be perfectly honest with you, that hasn't even entered our mind or been discussed.
In the press conference, the chief was asked, do you expect any charges against Carlee Russell? He said, right now our focus is to determine those 49 hours. It hasn't even entered our minds or been discussed about charges. To me, that's kind of doubtful.
Chief, was there any prior indication of mental health problems?
Not that I'm aware of.
Could you just expand on the people from the state, federal resources brought in? What were they doing exactly as you all were searching for? Can you just expand on that?
Sure. A lot of the from the FBI side, several agents helping us interview. I mean, as you well know, in a case like this, especially when it goes national, we got hundreds and hundreds of calls. And when you get those calls, some of them may just be outlandish, but you've got to follow up on them, because you never know that you may get that one tidbit. And I'd also say too that we had a great cooperation with the family. The family received hundreds and hundreds of tips, and every time they got a tip, they sent it to us.
Would you say a crime has been committed
No,
in this case?
we have not determined that. No.
Would you say a crime has been committed? The chief said no, and then he kind of backpedaled and no, we haven't determined that, no. So that's as of this point. But will police eventually determine that Carlee did in fact commit the crime, at least of false reporting, as a bare minimum? As of the press conference, Carlee had only given one brief statement to police.
We were able to obtain a brief statement from her prior to being treated and released. During the statement, she told detectives that while traveling down the interstate, she saw a baby walking down the side of the road and called 911. She stated when she got out of her vehicle to check on the child, a man came out of the trees and mumbled that he was checking on the baby. She claimed that the man then picked her up and she screamed. She stated he then made her go over a fence. She claims he then forced her into a car, and the next thing she remembers is being in the trailer of an 18-wheeler. She stated that the male was with a female. However, she never saw the female, only hearing her voice. She also told detectives she could hear a baby crying. She told detectives the male had orange hair with a big bald spot on the back. She said she was able to escape the 18-wheeler and fled on foot, only to be captured again and then was put in a car. She claimed she was then blindfolded but was not tied up because the captor said they did not want to leave impressions on her wrists. She said that they took her into a house and made her get undressed. She believes they took pictures of her, but she does not remember them having any physical or sexual contact. She stated the next day she woke up and was fed cheese crackers by the female. She said the woman also played with her hair, but could not remember anything else. At some point, she was put back in a vehicle she claims was able to escape while it was in the West Hoover area. She told detectives she ran through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. During this interview, detectives noted that Carlee had a small injury to her lip, and she claimed that her head was hurting. She also had a tear in her shirt. Detectives also noted that she had $107 cash in her right sock. Out of respect for Carlee and her family, detectives did not press for additional information in this interview and made plans to speak with her in detail after giving her time to rest.
And it was quite a fanciful and unlikely statement involving some orange-haired white man who grabbed her in the woods, allegedly, and carried Carlee over a fence and put her inside a car and then an 18-wheeler. During this crazy statement that she told detectives, she claims she saw a baby walking down the road. A man allegedly came out of the trees and mumbled something about him checking on the baby as well. This is where it gets even crazier. He reportedly picked up Carlee. She screamed. and he made her go over a fence. I'm thinking that man would have to be pretty strong to pick her up. You know, it's a lot to pick someone up unless you're really strong and they're really, really light, and put them over a fence. But this man supposedly had orange hair and a big bald spot in the back.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, question for Chief. You stated that the abductor had orange hair. Was this abductor black male? Was it female? Black female? White female?
I believe it's a white male. Am I correct by saying that? Was it ever? Yeah, white male.
Carlee eventually said she was blindfolded but not tied up because the captor, was gentle. They didn't want to leave impressions on her wrist. They took her in a house. Allegedly, Carlee's claiming they made her get undressed, and she thinks they took photos of her. Part of me is wondering, is this because there are photos of her online or something? Anyway, she claims there was no physical contact. The next day, Carlee woke up and she was being fed cheese crackers by some kind of female who was there with the man. Carlee could not remember anything else except she thinks the woman played with her hair. She did not see this mysterious female who was with the man. She only heard the woman's voice, but she also heard a baby crying. So you can assume in this fanciful fiction story, Carlee has to make room for the baby. Now she claims there was no assault that took place, and I believe it's because Carlee knows she would not have any DNA on her body if they gave her a SANE test at the hospital. Now, she escaped the 18-wheeler, she said, but she got captured again. She was put in a vehicle and she was able to escape conveniently in the West Hoover area. You can just imagine this. Carlee says she's running through lots of woods until she came out near her residence. So I don't know where the black robe was. Was she wearing all black like before? Police are saying there is video of Carlee walking down the street near her residence. There was a small injury on her lip, and she said her head hurt and there was some kind of tear on her shirt. Now the rumors are claiming that the video shows her walking at first and then running to her home and acting like a fool when she got close. There was $107 in cash in her right sock, and detectives didn't press her. They planned to speak with Carlee later in detail after giving her time to rest, of course, and recover.
Chief Carlee Russell, WPRC, how much time do you think you'll give the family before going back to Carlee for a second statement?
Well, I think our detectives have talked to the parents, and we're ready to talk as soon as she's ready. So, she called right now. We're ready.
One more question. Is it surprising to you that the family has not been cooperative in returning to be questioned?
Well, I think the family has stated to us that they didn't think that in her mental state right now, because of trauma of the incident, that she's not ready to talk, is what we've been told.
According to the chief, Carlee's family said that because of Carlee's mental state and because of trauma, she's not ready to talk. Per Mike Derberly, an anchor with Good Day Alabama, Carlee still isn't talking to cops as of Thursday, July 20th. Mike wrote on Twitter, "A source with Hoover PD tells me as of this morning, the family still has not responded to requests to speak to Carlee Russell for a second time to get more of her story, following Wednesday's new facts revealed from the investigation. If they've lawyered up, I'm sure that lawyer's telling Carlee to zip it. But chances are that cops are still gathering evidence, ring camera videos. Hopefully they will be able to convince if they find out anyone may have helped Carlee during this ruse to come forward. After all, I don't think Carlee spent 49 hours in the woods somewhere. If Carlee had anyone helping her, maybe driving her away from the scene or hiding her out for 49 hours, cops can convince that person to flip on Carlee and avoid jail time themselves by giving up anything they might know about the situation. I know they say snitches get stitches, but snitches get some great plea deals too. In the meantime, Tomar Latrell Simmons, Carlee's ex-boyfriend, by now I presume for sure, he may have been her ex-boyfriend before, he's wiped his Instagram clean of all traces of her. No longer is he thanking God and proclaiming that Carlee fought for her life during the 2 days she went missing. There's someone on Facebook claiming, it could be Carlee, I don't know, claiming that they were already broken up and that her boyfriend was just claiming to be her boyfriend because he wanted clout during the situation. But I don't know. Carlee's mother looks like she rules the roost. She speaks more in interviews.
Thank you.
Thank you all for taking the time to interview us and help us continue to keep this on the forefront of people's minds. She is she's just a joy to be around, a genuine person, a loving person, always trying to help, always trying to help people wherever she can. She is human. She is human, but she has a love for God. She knows who her Savior is. And that's pretty much who Carlee is. She has a promising future. She's a hard worker. And we just want everyone to do everything within their power, no matter how big, how small, to just make this a joint effort so that we can have the victory.
It's been fantastic, overwhelming, tremendous, out of this world. We can't say enough about the support that the community has given us, the love that they've shown to our family, our friends, our community, our church family, people we don't know, different organizations, local, state organizations. It's just been fantastic and unwavering, and we want it to continue.
Well, she was talking to our son's girlfriend on the phone. She told her that it looks like there's a little child on the side of the road that looks like a small toddler. And she told her, don't get out the car. And she said, I'm going to pull over and call 911 or call 911. She put her on hold, called 911, and she clicked back over and told her that 911 was, or that the police were on the way. And the next thing our son's girlfriend heard was Carlee asking the child if they were okay. So she evidently got out the car. She asked the child if they were okay, maybe 2 or 3 times. She didn't hear a response from a child on the other end. And she did hear a scream, and then she could tell there was maybe some type of shuffling, and the phone dropped to the ground. And from there, all she could hear was background noise. By that time, she was coming into the room to alert myself and my son what had just transpired. She kept the line open. She didn't hang up. I was yelling Carlee's name. We were all yelling Carlee's name. I picked up my phone to call Carlee's phone, just even though I knew that line was open with our son's girlfriend. It was just like, I just felt, I felt I needed to try to do something to try to reach her since she wasn't answering us when we were calling her name, and all we could just hear was like background noise. And from there, I came and got my husband from the bedroom and told him a brief synopsis of what had just transpired. We needed to throw on some clothes and go to her location. We do share our location through Life 360. And so it was pinging that she was at a particular street. However, when we got there, we did not see her car. And what we realized once the police came to where we were is that because her car was on the interstate, it was pinging at the street we went to because that street was right behind and below that Interstate 459.
Maybe she believed her daughter at first, but now as they get deeper into these kidnapping claims and potentially anyone getting jail time, fears of that, along with anyone who may have aided and abetted her, that could be overwhelming her parents and causing them all to stick to the story, whether they still believe Carlee or not.
One quick follow-up, her parents. Did you speak with Carlee's parents, and why do you think it is they were so adamant that there was an abductor?
Yeah, I think parents are believing what their daughter's saying, and we've had a very good rapport with the parents, met with them on several occasions. I've talked to them today a few times, and to make them understand that we're under pressure from our community, not only in our community of the state, but nationally when the story hit. And I just wanted them to understand that today we were going to have a press conference, and what we were going to detail today are facts. And everything that I've told you today is actual facts. It's not innuendos. It's not what I think. It's not what these detectives think. It is the factual information that we have.
I mean, denial can be a powerful thing. Let's talk about rumors and reasonings. What would possess Carlee to Google the movie Taken? Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert? And what would cause Carlee to conceal a dark-colored bathrobe from her Woodhouse spa job, along with a roll of toilet paper? Those are great spas. We have one up here. And then she went and grabbed granola bars, Cheez-Its from the Target on 280 and placed that false 911 call.
And at this time, we will play the 911 call in its entirety.
Hi, I am on Interstate 459, and there is a kid just walking by themselves. Hold on. Where on 459 are you? I'm right next to the exit 10 by the Hoover Med, like to get off by the Hoover Med. Okay, so you're before the exit? Yes. Okay, and were you headed southbound or northbound? Like towards Tuscaloosa or towards 280? Towards Tuscaloosa. Okay. And was the child on the left or right side? On the right side. Were they walking northbound or southbound? They're walking towards Tuscaloosa. Walking southbound? How old do they look? Like a toddler, maybe 3 or 4. Did you pull over with them? Are you still with them? Yes. Okay, are you with the child right now? No, I'm not. I didn't get out of the car. I can see them though. Do you mind staying and keeping an eye on them until we get there? Yeah, sure, yeah. Okay, what kind of car are you in? I'm in a red Mercedes-Benz. Is it a sedan or SUV? SUV. I mean, it's a sedan. Sorry. Can you put your hazards on for me? Yeah, they're on. Okay. Did you talk to the child at all, or did you say anything to them? No. Okay. No. Do they look like they're injured? No, they don't. Are they white, black, Hispanic, or Asian? They're white. Okay. Is it male or female? I think it's a boy, a little boy. White male? Okay. So is he wearing clothes? Yes. Okay. What is he wearing? It's a white t-shirt, and it doesn't look like he has any pants on. It looks like a diaper. And you don't see any cars anywhere? No, no cars anywhere. Okay. All right. What's your name? My name is Carlee Russell. And you don't see any injuries on the child from where you're at, correct? No, but I can't really see them that good. Okay, try to keep an eye on them for the best that you can, because I don't want you to lose track of them. Okay. All right, and do they have shoes on? No. Not that I can see. I can't really see that. Look. Okay. All right. I've got them on the way, okay? Just try to keep an eye on them, but officers are on the way, okay? Okay, thanks. Thank you. Okay, bye.
That's when she said the child was walking towards Tuscaloosa southbound. She sounds pretty mentally clear and calm in this call. She said she didn't get out of the car. She could see the child though. You know, you might be freaking out like if there's a child walking that close to traffic so quickly, going so fast. She talked about being in a sedan. She has her hazards on. Did you talk to the child? No, but she could see enough to tell it was a white little boy. She couldn't really see them that good. She claimed she didn't see any injuries on the little boy. Did he have shoes on? No. Not that I can see, she said. I can't really see that well. Meanwhile, the rumors are running wild. You know, there's theories. Did Carlee's ex-boyfriend, Tomar, break up with her? Was there some kind of brouhaha over him cheating with a stripper or something? We'll see some clues coming up in Carlee's Instagram posts. Was Carlee pregnant by a 17-year-old and in a desperate condition? Are those the Google searches that cops won't reveal due to privacy reasons? There's a couple that have leaked allegedly about getting rid of a baby. Carlee may have failed out of nursing school. Carlee may have gotten caught stealing from the spa that day and fired. Let's talk about the Google searches that they did make public. The U.S. Secret Service helped get the Google searches off of Carlee's phone and at work.
Detectives continue analyzing data from Carlee's cell phone that was left behind at the scene. We enlisted the help of the United States Secret Service in conducting this analysis. Part of what data includes several internet searches in the days leading up to their disappearance that I think are very relevant to this case. On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term, "Do you have to pay for an Amber Alert?" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term, "How to take money from a register without being caught," was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term Birmingham bus station was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th. On July 13th at 12:10 p.m., a search for the movie Taken, a film about abduction, was conducted. There were 2 searches related to Amber Alerts on a computer at Carlee's place of employment, including one regarding the maximum age of an Amber Alert. There were other searches on Carlee's phone that appeared to shed some light on her mindset, but out of respect for her privacy, we will not be releasing the content of those searches at this time.
On July 11th, do you have to pay for an Amber Alert? Unfortunately, Carlee may have left the biggest evidence behind against her. July 13th, how to take money from a register without being caught. Yeah, it's sad. I've done that in my wanton past. Birmingham bus station, she Googled. One-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville with a departure date of July 13th. Why one way? Did Carlee not plan on coming back home? Did she plan on going off to see Beyonce and not come back? She Googled the movie Taken. There were 2 searches related to an Amber Alert at work on her computer, including the maximum age of an Amber Alert. A couple of other searches related to her mindset that cops won't release at this time were made. On Facebook, they're claiming it's because she was in a desperate state. She wanted to go get rid of this baby, and she maybe didn't want her parents to track her. On Life 360. Let's talk about the selfish social media socialite. Carlee seemed to succumb as a beautiful and sexy girl to, her photos and especially the captions. On July 23rd, 2017, she wrote, "You feel the pressure yet? Happy 20th birthday to me." By April 12th, 2018, the thick thighs save lives mantra was used. On July 22nd, 2018, Carlee celebrated turning 21, wearing a gorgeous dress that rivaled any wedding gown. By August 26th, 2018, Carlee was trying to convince onlookers, don't doubt yourself, trust me, you need me. An icon or little emoji of a bumblebee seems another nod to Beyonce, a singer she posted about often, and it totally gives off the Bayhive vibes. On May 5th, 2019, Carlee declared herself a grown woman. On July 23rd, 2019, that was year 22, reminiscent of a Taylor Swift song in my mind. On August 4th, 2019, Carlee bragged, "Flew back across the waters with a passport," mimicking the Cash War lyrics in the song by Gunna. On August 21st, 2019, it found Carlee writing in French, translated to, "People will wait their whole lives for a moment like this." The Eiffel Tower looms in the background, so it shows this fabulous traveling life she had as a young woman. On June 2nd, 2020, she posted a blackout square. By June 23rd, 2020, it was back to the thick lips, thick thighs, slim hips, heart caption. In another ode to the physical and her birthday, Carlee posted on July 26, 2020, "Pretty face, no waist, first place, year 23. Now don't get me wrong, I think Carlee is a pretty girl, and I believe the human body is beautiful. However, Carlee seemed to post these thirst traps. Perhaps she was looking for something deeper. I mean, how many of us have made that mistake? Plus, calling out her own beauty is distasteful to me. Proverbs 27:2 says, "Let another mouth praise you, not yours." even if she is quoting a lot of song lyrics. January 16th, 2021, she wrote, "When you're number one, you can act this way." Carlee was celebrating her Alpha Kappa Alpha, aka sorority, and that's why she has on pink. But not green, I don't think. But not green, I don't believe. But at least Carlee shifted the focus to education on April 24th, 2021. She wrote, "An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest." By July 11th, 2021, Carlee wrote, "Looking in the mirror like, damn, I don't brag enough." It doesn't help that Carlee didn't put these song lyrics from Thought-ish, a song by Megan Thee Stallion, in quotes. It's prompting people to call her delusional and asking why she's so cocky. Her comments are just going wild. In my mind, though, using quotes like that next to your own photo, it's more of a sign of deep insecurities. "All I gotta do is post a pic and make 'em sick," she wrote on August 14th, 2021. Female goat lyrics from a song by Lakia. So this is showing me Carlee's state of mind. Maybe she didn't think she was pretty enough. Maybe she didn't think she was good enough, as she's going to describe in this next post about the difficulties of getting into nursing school. So then came the day on September 13th, 2021, when Carlee posted photos of her now infamous Mercedes-Benz. On February 5th, 2022, Carlee called herself The Snack That Smiles Back, a song titled by Sean Wasabi. Carlee was at the JW Marriott Los Cabos Beach Resort and Spa in Mexico. On April 7th, 2022, Carlee posted more vacation photos from Cancun, Quintana Roo, imploring viewers to, quote, "say my name, make 'em nervous," from Nicki Minaj's We Go Up lyrics. On September 19th, 2022, Carlee Nicole Russell got her first white coat from the UAB School of Nursing. Her mother bragged publicly on Facebook about the accomplishment. On September 21st, 2022, at 8:32 a.m., Talitha Robinson made the public post with Carlee, her first white coat. "We are beyond proud of you, Carlee. Stay focused," she wrote, "and continue to walk in your God-given purpose. His plan and timing is always the best plan and time." Thank you to all those who came and supported, called, texted, sent words of encouragement to our baby girl. And it's like the face with the heart surrounding it. Little did they know all the attention that would be forthcoming in 2023. But back on September 20th, 2022, Carlee also wrote a long post. She thanked God. She described how she had applied to 2 nursing schools and didn't get accepted. It made her discouraged. Maybe she wasn't good enough, she wrote. Then she applied to a UAB BSN joint enrollment program to get her BSN and ADN degree at the same time in only 5 semesters. That does sound pretty intense. She had been discouraged. She had been denied so much. Carlee was elated to receive a call that she was at the top of the acceptance list. Now she was in nursing school and felt so complete in life, she wrote. So this could be a key to Carlee's bad decision. Nursing school, as I'm hearing and reading, can be pretty intense. If she failed out, going through this hard time with finals and everything, was she fearful of coming home and telling her parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Chief Brittany Gill, WBRC, has a toxicology report been done, and were any drugs or illegal substances found in her system?
We have no report of that.
Is any indication of mental illness in this case?
Not that I'm aware of.
Lisa. Carol Gilson.
Yes. Do you feel confident, do your investigators feel confident that you know why Carlee Russell may have done this?
No, we do not know. Absolutely not.
And if she was indeed pregnant and felt like she couldn't drive herself off to what she thought she had to do because her parents would track her, and if she lost her job too and she was feeling at her lowest point in life, was she in need of some sympathy? Well, then of course Carlee would make up in her mind this sad decision, choose the most heroic scenario, getting kidnapped herself while at the same time trying to save a child. What could be more heroic? Allegedly, her other search was about how long will it take you to show when you're pregnant. On November 5th, 2022, she was bragging again. "I'm too classy for this world. Forever I'm that girl," she wrote. Those are lyrics from Alien Superstar, a song by Beyonce. By July 4th, 2023, in the foreground of the Statue of Liberty, Carlee kissed her boyfriend and wrote, "If you don't monkey emoji with me, don't do what I do. Think she the one, but she really the number two." I couldn't find those specific words in a song, so perhaps they were really heartfelt words written from Carlee's heart, maybe a message to another woman in her boyfriend's life. So if it's true that she broke up with him and maybe she got with some younger guy, and the age of consent is, I believe, 16 in Alabama, so that's not a concern, but I don't know what's going to happen with Carlee's future. Was the fear of disappointing her mom so great that she made one bad decision after the next? I followed the case of Sidney Powell, a then 19-year-old who has been indicted for the murder of her mom, Brenda Powell, a nurse, after the mom learned that Sidney had dropped out or had been kicked out of college. Sidney Powell, the young lady who was accused in her mother's fatal stabbing, has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Now that particular case has dragged on for 3 long years now and still hasn't made it to trial. With Carlee, was she in that desperate state? Did she break up with her boyfriend and get with some younger guy and get pregnant by him, as the rumors are claiming, and she was worried she was about to start showing? Thankfully, Carlee's case isn't as drastic as the Sidney Powell case, but we can look to similar cases like the case of Sherry Papini, who falsified her kidnapping and ended up being sentenced to 18 months in prison, to be followed by 36 months of supervised release for making materially false statements to FBI agents about the circumstances of her own hoax kidnapping, and she committed mail fraud based on her being a kidnapping victim. Sherry took it really far. I mean, she was gone, first of all, for 3 weeks, away from her loving husband and even her own little kids. A long time. I can't imagine worrying them. And then she took all this victim's assistance money, I think 80 grand, so there's the fraud. But then there's also the case of Katie Sorensen, better known as the woman who tried to blame a real-life Hispanic couple in a Michael's Arts and Crafts store over in Petaluma, California, for attempted kidnapping of her kids. But that was all a hoax too. You know, once they went to the video, they saw this California mom influencer. She's not telling the truth. She was convicted of fabricating a story about this Latino couple allegedly trying to kidnap her children outside the Michaels. So Katie Sorensen, 31, was found guilty of 1 count of making a false report of a crime. You know, she'll still probably claim, like her lawyer does, oh, it's just the way she perceived what was going on, but the stuff she said happened did not happen. Katie was sentenced to 90 days in jail for her false report of kidnapping attempt, and I know that's California and laws differ by state, but she ended up only having to serve 30 days or less. She just went in not long ago, but the last time I just checked Vine Link yesterday, she was already listed as out of custody, so I don't know if she really just spent a couple of weeks in jail, who knows? In 2020, Katie Sorensen posted a viral Instagram video, which basically was her downfall because it didn't line up with what she told police. You can listen to everything she told police. I plan to put it over on my Spotify, exclusive audio.
Please, you're reporting an emergency?
I suppose so, yes.
What are you reporting?
I was just at the Michaels here in Petaluma, and a couple tried to kidnap my children.
Tell me exactly what happened.
It's her 911 call. She'll talk about, my kids are very good looking. If I can't get it over there, I'll try and put it over on this Plunder video YouTube account. Katie Sorensen gave that false police report, and she moved on. She's like a preschool teacher now. But perhaps if cops can gather enough evidence, maybe Carlee will be arrested and maybe perhaps serve minimal jail time based on her charges, or maybe none at all. Maybe she'll get therapy to uncover why she pulled this stunt and wasted so many resources and worried so many people. I hope Carlee takes this to heart, being a believer. 1 John 1:7, but if we really walk in the light, that is, live each and every day in conformity with the precepts of God, as He Himself is in the light, we have true, unbroken fellowship with one another, He with us and we with Him. And the blood of Jesus, His Son, cleanses us from all sin by erasing the stain of sin, keeping us cleansed from sin in all its forms and manifestations. I know so many people are so angry with Carlee, And of course, rightly so, if she did waste these officers' time, worry her parents to death, spend so many resources, endanger people just searching for her. And if it's just because she was afraid, if she's in dire straits, I know what it's like to be young and afraid, unwanted pregnancies, making bad decisions. I don't know what's true or not. I don't know if Carlee really is pregnant. I don't know if she really had a younger boyfriend. We don't know where she was those 49 hours. There's so much still unknown about this case. But what I do know is that the truth does set us free, and we can go to God for forgiveness. It helps if she tells the truth. Of course, nobody wants to go into jail, but I believe her charges would be really light or minimal, and if she just came out with an apology, perhaps a bit of an explanation for especially her loved ones or people who helped search for her, I think it would go a long way in restoring her reputation. And maybe she wasn't meant to be a nurse. Maybe that's why certain things happened if she did fail out of school. But it doesn't mean her life is over. I pray Carlee does not harm herself. It might feel like the end, but it's not the end. It could just be the lowest point, rock bottom, and you can go up from here. Coming out truthfully, examining yourself truthfully, admitting if you are in trouble, not fearing your image or your reputation or your parents to the point where you do something so bad or tragic, but instead just telling the truth, sitting in it, figuring out how you move on from here, whether it means a change of location or a change of city, or that's what some people do after a crisis. And it's okay. It's okay to tell the truth, accept the correction of the Lord, and then move forward and just do better in life. It's not the end. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for updates on this case and many more.
The Hoover 911 Center received a second call from Carlee's mother stating that a relative was on the phone with her when they heard Carlee scream, and then they had an open phone line. Hoover police deployed all available assets from the point in the search for Carlee. Additional resources were called in to include our own drone unit, crime scene investigators. Numerous detectives responded to the scene. Throughout the day Friday, officers from surrounding local and federal agencies assisted Hoover police in the search for Carlee Russell. Officers returned to the scene on 459 to conduct a thorough line search for evidence. K-9 teams from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department responded to check for any sign of Carlee, the child that she claimed to see, and anything else that could be considered evidence in this case. Those searches all turned up empty. Private citizens, including search parties organized by our family, friends, began looking everywhere that they could to find any trace. These searches took place throughout the day Friday and again on Saturday, yielding nothing. At 10:44 p.m. on July 15th, the Hoover 911 Center receives a call from Carlee's residence stating that she returned home on foot. In subsequent investigations, detectives obtained surveillance footage of Carlee walking down the sidewalk alone prior to arrival at her residence. She was conscious and speaking with paramedics when she was transported to UAB. We've asked to interview Carlee a second time, but have not been granted that request. As you can see, there are many questions left to be answered, but only Carlee can provide those answers. What we can say is that we've been unable to verify most of Carlee's initial statement made to investigators, and we have no reason to believe that there is a threat to the public safety related to this particular case. Thank you very much.
Is this alleged abductor yet on loose in the Hoover area?
Don't believe so.
There's been a concern in the community that if this turned out not to be a true story, that the next time a young woman of color was missing, that it might not be taken seriously. How would you respond to that?
I'd respond to say that we investigate every crime to the fullest, just like we have this one.
Right here.
Was she traveling with anyone since, was she traveling with anyone since the time she disappeared, to your knowledge?
And not to my knowledge.
Right here.
Chief, I know you said you weren't able to verify a lot of aspects of the story. Where do you think she went, and how would you characterize what happened to her?
You know, that's the $100 question. You know, we pretty much know exactly what took place from the time she left work until she got on the 911 call, and we can see getting out of the car on the interstate from that footage. And after that, I think she only knows. We don't know.
Right here.
If you had one word to describe what went on, what would that word be?
How about unknown? we know the facts that we have. Everything else is unknown at this time.
Any idea about the number of manpower hours or the expense with the drones and all the rest of the search that might have cost the city and the state and federal government?
Yeah, we haven't had time to consider that, but it's again, these detectives that are here, this is just a small group of people that have been associated with this case. We have put every available resource that we have on this case because we wanted to make sure that we found out everything. We wanted to get her home, and we have.
Keith Mims, WAGG 610 Summit Media. Question for Chief. With all the searches that you mentioned, Chief, that were on Carlee's phone, does that kind of give you an indication of her mind state during this ordeal, the 48 hours that she went missing?
Well, again, we want to talk in facts, and I do think it's highly unusual to the day that someone gets kidnapped, that 8 hours before that they're searching the internet, Googling the movie Taken about an abduction. I find that very strange. Yes.
Chief, have you used any technology to enhance that video from 459, and did you see a man grab her?
We did not see, from what we can tell, we don't see anybody on the interstate other than her car and then someone getting out of her driver's side. We have sent that off to the FBI for enhancement. It has not been returned.
Do you think in this case that charges will be forthcoming towards Carlee Russell, and how serious of a crime is it to not only fabricate a 911 call, but to lie to law enforcement during an investigation?
Well, again, that's not something that we've been discussed as we're going through the still investigation. But, people have to understand that when someone says something like this, we put every available resource. Everybody comes together from state, local, federal. It's just a lot of work, and the gentleman earlier said frustrated. I mean, it is a little frustrating to think that all this has been done and we can't find anything out.
Did anyone see her calling in from the side of the road when she made that 911 call?
No, not to my knowledge.
All right, last question here.
Is this investigation held up until you can speak once again to Carlee Russell?
Well, there's a few things that we're still doing, but obviously we want to talk to Carlee as soon as we can. And do an in-depth interview, and at that time, I think we'll have these investigators doing some other things. So
that's all the questions we're going to answer today. We appreciate you guys coming, and we'll be following up with y'all later. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, Chief.
Thank you very much.